This is Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, brought to you by the Iowa Soybean Association, your source for the latest Iowa ag news headlines right here in the heart of the heartland. With reports from our award-winning team of Dustin Hoffman, Riley Smith, Mark Magnuson, and Andy Peterson. Now, from the IARN studios in Des Moines, here's Dustin.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Dustin Huffman. Today is Wednesday, the 3rd of September, 2025. We're so glad you could join us. Coming up a little later on in the program, we'll hear from the folks at agmarket.net to find out what happened in those markets today. But first, we're going to talk about seeds with Channel Seed reps, and we're going to hear from Riley Smith as he had a chance to talk about how those seeds have performed in a very challenging 2025, something we haven't seen in a while with the disease pressure that's been mounting.
Clayton Robinson of Channel Seeds, right outside the Bayer tent right now. First off, Clayton, if you could give us kind of a general overview, how have things gone so far this year on the corn side of things with Channel Seeds?
Yeah, we've been extremely pleased with the performance of Channel corn so far. Of course, the proof is in the pudding as you see combines roll through fields here pretty shortly. We'll have a lot more data or definitive thought there. But ultimately, we've obviously faced challenges this year from delayed planting and wet conditions in the Northeast through kind of the Eastern Corn Belt to drier conditions in some areas, disease moving in with southern rest in that Iowa. I was just in Iowa the other day and saw a fair bit of that. But again, every year we've got different challenges, but we're confident that the Channel brand's going to be able to overcome those as we see combines roll through.
So as we look at the hybrids that have really kind of stood the test this year, like you mentioned, a lot of disease pressure that kind of came in late season. We'll see more of that as hybrids are as yields are fully realized, but so far, what are you hearing that's kind of performing really well?
Yeah, so I don't have any specifics for you on specific product lines that are, really handling southern rust in this geography. I would tell your listeners to talk with your Channel Seed pros, to talk with those people your Channel technical agronomists that are on the ground. I can give you a little bit of thought of, we look at these diseases really early in our pipeline, so this is a really good opportunity for us to determine how some of our germplasm is working against these diseases and what the tolerances are. So it's an opportunity for us to learn, and especially as we think about how early we're testing for these diseases, we're confident that your Channel TAs and seed pros are going to pick the products that are going to work best for our customers.
You've mentioned that the future is exciting for Channel corn as well. What are some of the things that you're really looking forward to seeing come up through that pipeline? Yeah,
so I think there's a couple of different ways we could look at this, right? We're at the Farm Progress Show, and progress happens year by year. We eat away at the status quo, right? And I think that the most exciting thing with the Channel corn portfolio is just the ability to bring genetic gain year after year after year, which puts money in our customers' pockets. So I'm excited for the launch class that we have this year because it brings that genetic gain, because it's backed by Bayer, and we've got a really robust and one of the largest breeding portfolios and pipelines. So I'm excited to see what that brings. When you think about, maybe further on down the road here, I think about Preceon Smart Corn System. I think about our Corn Rootworm 4 trait that we're looking to seek approvals on. And then I think about some of the enhanced herbicide tolerance traits that Bayer's looking to bring out into the decade, right? And I want to talk specifically about Preceon as we think about that moving into the next couple of years, when we think about the biotech trait of that hopefully coming here toward the end of the decade. That has the opportunity to revolutionize the way we grow corn. And I would ask anyone to talk to your seed pro about the Channel lineup and what Channel's bringing, because we're, again, one of only 2 brands backed fully by Bayer, and we're bringing that innovation through your local Channel seed pros. So.
Of course, we're talking about smart corn. What is the smart in smart corn?
Yeah, so smart corn, shorter stature corn, right? And we're experimenting with right now. It's targeted for commercial in a few markets, but we're really excited about that biotech trait that's coming out here in a couple years, and or in a few years, right? And that is shorter stature corn, where we've got the nodes stacked. It allows for generally better root growth, protection from wind events generally, and more plant population, so increase in density of plant population, which we know drives yield.
And we know in Iowa we've seen a lot of those wind events in recent years, so there's a lot of farmers who are looking for that shorter stature corn to really take advantage of the conditions that we have going on. So Clayton, thanks so much for your time today. For anyone who wants to learn more about the Channel Seed lineup, how can they do that?
Yeah, so the Channel Seed lineup, the expert is your local Channel Seed pro, right? That's what distinguishes Channel from other brands, is the way we go to market through those experts, and the kind of the package that Bayer puts around them with field personnel. So they are the ones they're going to be the expert for your local lineup, and we hope that there's one in your community you can talk to.
All right. Thanks again for your time as always, and enjoy the rest of the Farm Progress Show.
Thank you.
Thanks again to Clayton Robinson of Channel for that interview here today. We're going to take a short break and hear from our sponsor, the Iowa Soybean Association, and the Soy Checkoff. When we come back, it'll be the closing markets. This is Ag Matters PM.
Iowa Soybean Association is driven to deliver for Iowa's 40,000 soybean farmers. We're proud to provide objective agronomic research, a helping hand with soil and water stewardship, and timely industry news powered by the Soybean Checkoff. Learn more at iasoybeans.com.
It's time now for the Ag Matters PM Closing Market Summary, your source for market analysis and settlement prices from the day's trade in Chicago, courtesy of the folks at agmarket.net.
We're back on Ag Matters PM, and right now it's time to talk with Kaden Sweeney of agmarket.net. And Kaden, what do we see happen in those grain markets today?
Yeah, unfortunately, some red back on the screen today, which, we saw at least yesterday in the bean market, but I had some high hopes, I guess, maybe too high for the corn market after yesterday's trade, when we closed 9 cents, almost 10 cents off of the lows and looked really good, which I don't think that story's over. Just would have liked to have seen some carry through today. But, just one of those days kind of feels like risk off a bit in the marketplace. And, the moves that we've been seeing, over the last probably 2 weeks have been a bit larger than we had in the past. And I think that's just what we're seeing today. The up days are bigger and the down days are bigger than average too. So I say that to mean I don't think there's a lot of news on the wire today necessarily, just kind of a day where we're giving some back.
And we're in that time, I suppose, too. Everybody's just kind of waiting to see what finally does come out of those fields as we're sitting there waiting. We know there's disease pressure around the Corn Belt. We know that there are some places are too wet, some places are too dry, depending on bean or corn, depends on where you're at. I mean, it's just one of those days that, like you said, if nothing happens, there's really nothing for it to go on. And of course, we're waiting on trade deals as well.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, it's just a time in the calendar where there's a lot of moving parts. Obviously, like you said, we're trying to figure out what's out there for a crop, and the market's continually trying to handicap that a bit. But you're also to the point where you're seeing guys get into harvest, and hedge pressure is just going to continue to be a thing. And we felt like last week we had the funds lifting several shorts, and maybe a day like this where they're not lifting many shorts to be on the buy side, and you're getting the hedge pressure, you just see red on the screen, you see the market go down. So to me, that's kind of more what we're seeing, just kind of the mechanics of the market. I don't necessarily think anything's broke, again, just kind of the way this time of year trade seems like.
All right, then looking at the livestock side of things, cattle and hogs, cattle had a little bit of a down day yesterday. Of course, where cattle is sitting, it's not like, losing, 30 to 50 cents is going to break their backs. But, what are we looking at as those markets close out today?
Yeah, you're right. A little bit in the same vein as grains, where we're just making pretty big moves in the cattle market. Seems like every day, a percent move at these levels is pretty big. So we're down again today. Obviously, feeders down about $2, and live cattle down about 50, 60 cents here. So again, like you said, I don't know that anything is broken. We're just continuing to trade, and again, I feel like I keep repeating myself, but a move when you're up this elevated is just going to feel bigger than it maybe actually is. So again, until I think you see, some major moving averages start getting taken out in the cattle complex that we haven't been taken out recently, being the 10-day and the 20-day, I think you continue to see some strength here. And
then the hogs, how did they fare today?
Yeah, hogs down about $1.70 on the October, December down $1 as well. So again, after making new highs for about 5 days straight, giving back a good chunk of that today. I don't know. I guess I'm not too concerned yet. Maybe I should be, but I just feel like there's the trend is still up, and put option can go a long way, but I still think there's still some strength here.
All right. Well, Kaden, if folks want to look at some of the intel that you guys have about looking at where those markets are sitting and where you guys think they might be heading, what's the best way for them to get in touch to find some of this information?
Yep. Just go to our website, agmarket.net. You can reach anyone from our team there, get on our Monday videos, Wednesday videos for the charts, and a morning wire as well. That's pretty good. So everything you need, you can find there.
All right. Well, Kaden Sweeney's been the guest today. And Kaden, thanks so much for the insight. We'll talk to you again real soon.
Yep. Sounds good, man. Appreciate you guys.
And that again was our closing market commentary from the folks at agmarket.net. Let's go ahead and take a look at the closing numbers on the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network market screen. At the close, December corn was down a nickel at 4.18 even. November new crop beans down 9.5 at 10.31.5. Soy meal down 70 cents at 277.60. Soy oil down 82 cents at 51.44. Chicago wheat down 6 1/4 at 5.22 even. Kansas winter wheat down a half at 4.82 3/4. Kansas spring wheat down a half at 5.07 1/4. Minneapolis spring wheat down 3/4 cent at 5.53 1/2. Oats down 2 3/4 at 3.27 3/4. On the Merc live cattle down $1.20 at 238.32. Feeders down $2.17 at 3.62 at 07, and lean hogs down $1.72 at 93.82. Pork cutlets unchanged at 102.22. Class 3 milk down 11 cents at 17.82. And that's been a check of our closing markets, and that brings us to the end of today's show. You can find all our content online at iowaagnet.com. You can also follow us on Facebook, X, and our YouTube channel. While you're there, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you can be notified each time we put out a new episode. Don't forget about our free market podcast coming 3 times a day through your favorite podcast channel. Those include Amazon, Apple, Spotify, Podbean, and YouTube. From the IARN studios in Des Moines, I'm Dustin Huffman. For Andy Peterson, Mark Magnuson, and Riley Smith, we thank you for watching. This has been Ag Matters PM.